Hubbard and Burkhofer, they've been solid all week long. Rick Eckert on the outside, down the back straightaway. Bloomquist on the bottom. Bloomquist will split Hubbard. And over to the turn number 4, it's Berkey time.
It sure is. And Superman Jonathan Davenport moves it up to the top side. Here comes Rick Eckert. And now the battle for third, James Essex. Bloomer's taking a look to the inside of Scrub.
Rick Eckert now to make a feature the first 10 on Bloomquist. Down the back straightaway, Eckert got up against the wall. Bloomer on the bottom. Here comes Zero. Zero will go to third. Bloomquist in front of Eckert on the 4, Shane. 9 down, 6 to go as they come out of turn number 4. Burkhofer's led all the way, but he's got traffic in front of him, and Bloomquist will start to close.
Right now, the best thing for Jonathan Davenport is to hang on and be able to start up close to the front of one of the B mains as he holds on to position number 4 as the leader slows on the backstretch. Burkhofer's off the pace. Oh my goodness, James.
McCready trying to get a reprieve here at the end. Shane, we're back underway.
This is for starting 5th in the World 100 here tonight. If you finish 2nd, you're going to start 8th. If you finish 3rd, you're going to start 14th. And Bub McCool, Mohawk Nation, he makes it up to the 3rd spot around Landers. White flag is out, James Essex.
In the 3, they're side by side. Bloomquist is going to win. Eckert 2nd, 3rd spot at the line. It's gonna be Landers, did it. And the 3-time winner to his 25th World 100 in the Old Smoky Moonshine Suite, Bloomquist number 0, out of Mooresburg, Tennessee. How about it? Let's hear it for Scott Bloomquist.
Scott Bloomquist, another wild heat race tonight. It's been since 2001 since you won this race. It's about time to get the party going again.
Yeah, you know, way too many second place finishes here, and you know, we've always been in the hunt, but this car feels awesome. This Andy Durham engine's running awesome. You know, I mean, just everything feels really good. So, you know, hopefully this will be our night.
Starting alongside 3-time World 100 winner, the Hall of Famer, in the 0. Out of Mooresburg, Tennessee, it is Scott Bloomquist. We're underway, the 44th World 100, Shane Andrews.
Charging into turn number 1 and 2. Who will get the whole shot for this 44th edition? It's going to be Dale McDowell.
K-Rob on the bottom. K-Rob will get around Marlar quickly out of 2. Marlar will recover out of down the back straightaway. Madden runs in 4th, down the back straightaway. Bloomquist sneaks on the bottom. 0 to 4th, and it's Madden, Boggs, and Rick Eckert. We've got a 4-car battle for the lead in the 44th World 100. Right now they're trying to go 3 wide for a second. Down the back straightaway, here comes Bloomquist. It's McDowell, Marlar, Robinson, Bloomquist out of turn 4. They're all together. Down the main straightaway, 12 scored in the World 100 chain.
Look at this. Here comes Bloomquist going after K-Rob and Mike Marlar for position number 2 and 3. Bloomquist is going to work the bottom off of corner number 2. He's going to go to the inside of Kent Robinson's. He'll take over position number 3 by the time they come off of corner number 4.
Scott Bloomquist has not won the World 100 since 2001. He won the very first time he was here in 1988. It's been a long dry spell for the Zeros. He'll work on Marlar down the back straightaway. And Scott Bloomquist goes to 2nd around Mike Marlar in the turn number 3.
You watch how even and balanced that car is right now through corner number 4, James. There's not even a wiggle out of that 0 car right now. Just as smooth. A great handling race car for Scott Bloomquist right now. Here comes Bloomquist to the inside of McDowell. He's looking for the lead off of corner number 2. McDowell runs the top side. Bloomquist down on the bottom. They'll enter the turn together. Who's it going to be in traffic? Dennis Erb Jr. right in front of him off of corner number 4. Bloomquist on the bottom. No, it is McDowell by a nose.
By a nose was a fact for that. Out of 2 down the back straightaway. Can this be the lap Bloomquist takes to lead? Dale Mack is led all the way from the start. 18 scored. In behind the 20 to Dennis Erb Jr. Bloomquist will try the bottom. Will we have a new leader in the World 100? And yes.
Oh, so close, and yes it is, by a nose into turn number 1. And now Bloomquist puts a full car length ahead as they work their way down the back straightaway into corner number 3 and 4. As your leaders work their way through traffic right now, they come off the corner as the Bloomquist 0 looking to put some distance between himself. And we've got caution on the speedway.
Caution.
Yellow lights are on.
Caution out 20.
To left rear, nothing was wrong with it. It's going to be interesting as some of these teams think they might have gone the wrong direction. We'll see as the race wears on, especially if we see another caution in the next 10 to 15 laps.
And you bring up a very good point, Ben, as we were when I was down there with you for the Dream. Those guys were very, very.
Well, word from the UMP officials is they took that piece that Scott Bloomquist had on his window net. The word is from the officials that he started the race with the window net and he was told not to. So he is being penalized and he will go to the tail. Well, it's going to be interesting in the next 81 laps, Shane, because Zero not going to be a happy camper.
No.
And we'll see him come to the front.
By no means, way, shape, or form. So Bloomquist in the Zero car to the tail of the field.
Wow, we've seen it all, haven't we?
Yes, we have.
This weekend.
Bloomquist is up to position number 10, and he is flying. And you have to ask, how much of a lead would he have right now if he wasn't sent to the tail?
Scott Bloomquist out of turn 4 for 9th. Bloomquist a 9th from the tail. How many times have we seen that over the last 5 or 6 years? Owens and Bloomquist headed to the front at Eldora, 46 complete.
You know, Scott Bloomquist is usually fast, but a PO'd Scott Bloomquist is probably worth another 200 horsepower, and he is making it work on the bottom side of the Speedway. Meanwhile, Bloomquist to the inside of Owens, off of corner number 2. That's the battle for the 8th spot, halfway off the turn, and there's Ziegler going after McDowell.
Halfway, and Bloomquist around Owens. Scott Bloomquist around Jimmy Owens. That is what, for 7th or 8th?
That was for position number 8. Matt Miller right in front of him. He rides in 7th, and it's not going to be long before Bloomquist is all over that number 3.
As they come out of turn number 4, it's still McDowell with the lead. Ziegler now closes on him into 1. Here he comes, 52 complete, Shane.
As Robinson holds on to position number 3. Mars right there for the 4 spot. Fager is 5th. And the number 32 of Bobby Pierce feeling the pressure now. Something's not right with the car. The smooth operator. Oh, something is wrong with the 32 of Bobby Pierce as he slows heading into turn number 3.
47 to go to decide it.
Working it into turn number 1. We keep our eye on that 4th row between Bloomquist and the 20 of Jimmy Owens. And here they go, 3 wide off the turn as Fager's in the middle of Owens and Bloomquist, as Bloomquist is going to come out of it with position number 6 and possibly the 5 spot off of turn number 4 under Miller.
What a drive for Zero, 50 years old, looking for his first World 100 victory since 2001. Down the back straightaway, it's still Dale McDowell. Jimmy Mars will go to 3rd. Mars to 3rd and around Robinson. And Bloomquist from the tail is up to 5th.
But he's got to run down the back straightaway on McDowell one more time, and they've got the slower car, Conley, right in front of him. McDowell goes to the bottom to shut the door and take away the momentum as McDowell will continue the lead here on 61.
Unbelievable, Bloomquist to 4th. Scott Bloomquist in the 1. Out at 2. He's looking for 3rd. Down the back straightaway. Here comes Zero. Meanwhile, for the lead.
Ziegler goes around.
Spins. They got together in front of your rest of the field, and they caught Jimmy Mars and nowhere to go.
Wow.
They got in there too hot and heavy, too tight, and they touched wheels, and Ziegler went spinning. Oh, no. But that will change it, and ladies and gentlemen, guess who's running 2nd place?
Wow.
From the tail, Scott Bloomquist is now 2nd.
Scott knows how to do best, and that is polarize a crowd, and he's doing it tonight at Eldora.
Here we go. Out at turn number 4, the restart. Bloomquist back to 2nd after having to go to the tail. Here comes Robinson, Fager, Jimmy Owens. Jimmy Owens on the outside. Owens goes to 4th. Owens goes to 3rd. Jimmy Owens up to 3rd. Oh, my goodness.
New
Here
race
he
leader.
comes, Shane. Look out.
New race leader possibly at the line, and it is going to be the 17 Emma McDowell, but for how long as Bloomquist works the bottom off of corner number 2, working it down the back straightaway. Owens up to the 3rd spot as Bloomquist again tries the inside on McDowell through 3 and 4. McDaddy's going to keep the lead.
You wonder about the tire wear on the Zero car, having to go to the back, Shane, and having to work his way back up through the field. It looks pretty good so far. He may be saving it here for the last 10 laps.
He might just be doing that because right now he is a car length behind the McDowell number 17M as they head into 3. But for how long? Bloomer took a look to the inside, couldn't make it work that time. You think maybe he's forcing McDowell to drive it a little bit harder than he wants to at this point?
I think so. Would not be shocked, but McDowell's not going to fall for that. The veteran driver down the back straightaway, Dale Mack into 3. Now Bloomquist will work the bottom. They try to go side by side for the lead of the 44th World 100, and at the line, it's still McDowell.
Oh my, it's still Bloomquist in the second place, but for how long? Not anymore. Scott Bloomquist, your new race leader, into turn number 3 and 4. Dale McDowell back to second. James, if I wasn't here to see it, I wouldn't have believed it.
Unbelievable, 72 scored, 28 to go. Bloomquist down the back straightaway. Puts a lap on first-time World 100 starter Brandon Overton. Now he goes up to the higher groove as he comes into turn 4. What a machine he has tonight, handling so well. There's McDowell, there's Owens. 78 scored here tonight.
James, if he did not get put to the tail of the field, where would he be running right now as compared to everybody else? What kind of lead would he have established? Incredible drive, great handling race car. Scott Bloomquist is on a rail. He is in a zone of his own. They head down into turn number 4 across the line. Bloomquist on lap 82.
I cannot believe it. He just lapped the hottest driver in Dirt Late Model Racing, Darrell Lanigan. Bloomquist puts Lanigan a lap down, 82, complete 18 to go. He'll close on Mike Marlar. Has Bloomquist on the bottom of Marlar, and he'll quickly take care of him.
Yeah, he passed him like he was tied to a tree as they went into corner number 3 that time, and Bloomquist wasting no time trying to click these laps off. 16 laps to go for Scott Bloomquist. And again, I have to ask, where would he be running right now if he wasn't sent to the tail?
Yeah, I know. You look like you're in shock, don't you? You can't believe it.
I'm just impressed. I am just impressed by what I'm seeing.
Unbelievable. Here he comes over turn 4. Now a move behind Moyer and Blankenship, 7 to go. Into that fuel pressure pickup problems. I keep harping on it because it is really costing here in the last week.
Boy, if he holds on for the next 6 laps, this might be a triple chop, crotch chop tonight, baby. Unbelievable. Impressive run by Scott Bloomquist. And James, I've said it already and I'll say it again. If I wasn't here to see it, I wouldn't believe it. Words can't do justice how good this race car is for him right now with 5 to go.
Scott into turn number 1. He'll take the bottom out at 2 down the back straightaway. Five laps to go. Dale McDowell is still second. Jimmy Owens is third. Bloomquist now working on the reigning World 100 winner, John Blankenship. Trying to become a 4-time winner to join Donnie Moran in that category. Shane out of turn 2. 4 to go. Behind Chris Madden. White flag. Goes to 0. 1 to go. Shane Andrews.
Final time into turn number 1 and 2. Scott Bloomquist took the lead. They sent him to the tail, and now he's back in front. And James, he is 2 corners away from picking up the win in his 4th Globe.
Here he comes. Bloomer Nation celebrates at Eldora. Bloomquist with the win from the tail. Incredible. Amazing.
Have you ever seen anything like it?
I don't know what to say. I do not know what to say. But now the big thing is, as they go to the scales, Matt Miller 5th, Jason Fager a good run 4th, Jimmy Owens 3rd, Dale McDowell 2nd, and 0 will take it to the scales. Here he comes. Green is good for globes and $47,000 in cash. Here he is. It's green. It's green. What a performance.
Well, he is getting high fives from just about everybody that is down here in the pit area as he pulls the Hawkeye Truckee Penske Racing shots, Old Smoky Tennessee Moonshine number 0 on to the victory stage. surprised there's 4 wheels left on it because I thought you drove the wheels off of that thing. First and foremost, man, what a run.
Yeah, I believe everybody got to witness the fastest race car in the world right there.
Absolutely. Scott, first off, you stopped down here 20 laps into the race, pulled something off the car. What happened? What was going on? And why'd you go to the rear of the field?
There's no rule. I mean, you can run a window net. That was a window net. There's no rule in there that says you can't run a window net. Maybe I like to be safer than the rest.
You drove this car back up through the field. You didn't just bide your time. You drove the car straight back to the front.
Yeah, we talked this week at the shop. I told everybody I was going to win this race this weekend, and here it is.
Scott Bloomquist, all the time that we've talked in the past few years about all the second place finishes tonight, to not have to hear that, is that one of the happiest times of your life?
Yeah, it's pretty good. There has been a lot of seconds here, and the dream we just missed it a little bit, and just I knew what I needed to do when I come back though, and this week in the shop I told everybody, I just looked them straight in the eye. I said, we're gonna win this race. I said, I just want you to know we're gonna win it. I'll be sure of it. So, we just had to come and execute it. The first incident, I'd like to find somebody that can show me in the rule book where you can't have a window net, but I guess they decided we can't have one. But didn't seem to matter.
Talk about going to the back, and is that Scott Bloomquist at this point in your career versus maybe even 10 years ago where you'd have a hard time getting composure because you went to the back, you might not have been happy, but you methodically started working your way forward immediately?
The car was just so good, and I was so confident, and I just really I knew there was plenty of laps left, and I knew the car would just work anywhere on the racetrack, and everyone that would try to run the bottom like I did, they'd all go in, they could get in there, and as soon as they throttled up, they'd push out of it, which would just leave me the whole racetrack. So it was just a deal where I found myself a couple of times wanting to force pass in a certain car or two, just wanted to get it out of the way, but I just, knew better. That just comes from experience, and didn't want to push my tires too hard and possibly do a little damage to them to where it might take them a little while to recover. And just wanted to, I knew if I kept the car under me, and again, the car was so good, our Andy Durham engine ran so good, and Penske shocks it just handled so good. Everything, Hypercool Springs, just our whole package has been being refined quite a bit lately, and we've been really good this year. Really, it's been a really disappointing year. This makes up for all the disappointments that we've had this year. We've had so many things happen to us leading races, and I think we've been the fastest we've ever been compared to the competition this year, but haven't got to capitalize on that many victories like what I feel. I thought that this was going to come a lot sooner in the season because I knew how good we were. We just had a lot of misfortune.
So tell us all how you pissed off you were down there. Because you look kind of pissed.
No, I just really was wanting an explanation, which I didn't get an opportunity to get. That's when I stopped down there. I was like, wait a minute, the decision. There's been a couple of decisions made here because of people screaming when there's still a rule book we're supposed to go by, and I felt that fit in the rule book. I read the rule book through and in and out and upside down, and there wasn't anything in that rule book said that I couldn't run that. So.
What exactly happened? A piece of plastic? Where'd it come
No.
from?
It was a window net.
But they said something got caught in it. That didn't happen.
No.
So they stopped you because
They stopped me because I had a window and the rest didn't.
What was said before the race or something?
Well, it was sitting on the front straightaway. It was in plain sight for anybody to look at. Should have said something then.
So nothing was said before that to you about the window net?
I had it in at the Dream. Nobody said nothing.
Scott, this obviously isn't your first World 100 win, let alone your first big win of any kind. Where does this rank, though, on the satisfaction meter for you?
This is probably just it's about as sweet as it gets. You know, I know Earl's son came by earlier, and I got his business card in my pocket, and he said that if I won this race, Earl would like to shake my hand or at least get a photo or something, and I was pretty happy to hear that, and happy to hear Earl was still doing well, and him and his wife were here tonight. I've always enjoyed Earl. I don't think you can hang with me tonight like you did years ago. Be a little harder on you, wouldn't it?
Scott, in 2013, you come out here and you win the Dirt Late Model Dream, and you said people don't realize what it costs to run these teams, and that literally makes or breaks the season. Tonight, not quite 100,000, but you said again, this is what this team needs. When you're paying all the bills, it's that much tougher. Where you're at in your career, is this possibly some of the hardest time you've had to endure when you know you've got a good car, you're paying all the bills, but you're not getting all the results that you think you should have by now?
Yeah, you know, and especially when we went through the mechanical things, you know, and having, you know, just losing fuel pressure, leading at Portsmouth. It had a half a lap lead and just car quits. You know, it didn't completely die, but it was surging and ended up falling back to fifth. You know, running second for 25 grand at the Hillbilly. You know, we're running second. We still got a shot at winning this race. And caution comes out, and it does it again. And we changed the entire system. I mean, there wasn't one thing on that race car in the fuel system when we pulled into here. And then we're out there leading that first heat race, and it quits on lap 7. I was absolutely ready to, well, I told everybody, you're going to have to watch for me on the suicide hotline here because I didn't know what else to do, really. You know, we just kind of, it's like, what can we do? And, you know, we dug down and figured there's only a couple things it could be, and obviously we found it because the thing ran about as good as you could ask for tonight.
You're a master at polarizing a crowd. You get up to the second spot, you come down the front straightaway, and you're giving the yin-yang sign out. You got thumbs up going to the crowd. Scott Bloomquist knows exactly what he's doing at that moment.
Well, you know, the show was over when they put me to the tail. I would have lapped the field. That's what would have happened, and that would have been entertaining, but nothing like that was. I think everyone got to see just a classic. You know, I got to say a lot for this racetrack. You know, I'd said some things to Roger Slack and to some people about how it was shaped, and they got it too cupped at the top, and you could not run. I mean, I was like, there's way too much racetrack to not be using it. And I got to take my hat off to everyone that worked on that. And, you know, you can see here, I mean, it's from the top to the bottom wall. I mean, I know there was a few times I wasn't sure that I wasn't rubbing the inside wall with the left front, and just, you know, it's a lot of times you get a lot of racetracks that got a lot of room, but you can't race on it. And this is the best Eldora I've ever seen.
Do you remember 2 weeks ago at Ponderosa when you were not too happy with the track being rained on and wet, and I told you to just hush and drive because we like to see you drive? You did like that.
There's a lot of fans say that, you know. It doesn't. I mean, I appreciate them saying it, but when you're trying to make a living, you really, you know, you can put on a show, and you know you can hopefully prevail, but it doesn't always pay the bills.
Scott, before you made your charge to the front, first 10 laps after you were sent to the back, you kind of just were staying down on the inside, running behind Greg Satterley. Were you still pissed, or was there some reason why you were doing it that way?
No, I'll tell you what. I mean, this track's fast enough, and when you get a bunch of cars in front of you, I was really just waiting on some cars to get lined out and a little farther apart, because when you don't have any air on your car because there's multiple cars in front of you, you go in and you get loose, and you got to be very careful at that point in time, because you will do some damage to your tires that won't come back, and then you could end up finding yourself just sitting there all night. I know that because I've done it before, and I just knew I just needed to just get some laps down and just get heat in the tires again and just get everything, and let some cars get a little separation in them so that I get a little air on my car too.
Back to that caution, lap 61, and you're hooping up the crowd. You had just gotten into second place, and I did notice that you were in front of McDowell at the point, at the leader. Is there some kind of head games, and the mental aspect of that? Obviously, you're hooping up the crowd for you and them, but is that kind of aimed at the leader as well?
Well, no, I mean, the pace truck took off and he just sat there. So I mean, I was just following. I wasn't even that close to the pace truck. I just thought that maybe he couldn't get started. But I always like a clear view, so it felt good just to have a clear view and get my thoughts together.
Scott, I think it was after Pittsburgh, you and I talked, and it almost seemed like I sensed from you that you were in a wind down mode. Your career was winding down. I just felt that night. I don't feel that tonight. What are you thinking?
Oh, it's never. The only thing that winds down is sometimes the thoughts of following a series too much and getting yourself committed and having to go to places that you don't enjoy racing at. I'll come here until I can't see anymore. I mean, it's really a place. This is if there was 2 races a year, it'd be these 2. I mean, if I decided to throttle back and whether I can see or not, I'd have to get some eyes tuned up. This place, I've always loved this place. I mean, it's from the first time I came here. I think we're the first one to ever win the race their first time here, and just such a classic place, such a classic racetrack, and you look at all the racing that's gone on that leads up to this final ending here. I mean, there's a lot of hard driving. Just this is a show like no other. I just wish that there were 12 places like this that had 2 shows a year, and that's all I had to do.
What do you remember about '88?
Everything.
What did you and Earl do after the race?
Well, no, Earl didn't hang out with me then. I think it was after one of the dreams that Earl. I think I had Earl go break into the liquor cabinet, and we stayed up late that night. Yeah, it was.
Scott, you're always a guy looking down the road, planning for the future, and that's what you're doing with these cars. And you made the comment tonight in Victory Lane, it's almost ready for the public. How far do you think you are before you want to sell these sweet Bloomquist race cars?
It's something that I'm still going to monitor to some level of. It's not like just anybody's going to be able to buy them, but because a lot of people will have different motivations behind buying them, so you just take it case by case. But they're really this fall they'll be able to be produced enough cars to supply quite a few that I want to work with.
'88. Was there anybody here in the starting field tonight that started a race before that?
Billy Moyer was in that field, and I just remember Jeff Purvis was really good at the time, and he was leading the race, and we just stayed steady, and next thing I know, he's in the way. I mean, it was pretty unbelievable for me too. I almost left. I got here on Thursday, and there was a race at Atomic Speedway, which I hadn't lost many races there. And this race paid $21,000 to win and $5,000 for second. And I pulled in, there were 200 and some race cars here, and I'd never raced here. And I was racing to eat, and I saw that second place paid $5,000, and they paid $5,000 at Atomic. And when I got a look at this place and how many cars and the whole deal, I thought, man, I could make it to Atomic for the weekend and make me $5,000 because this is looking pretty impossible. And then we come out of the race winning it. So, it's been a real special place ever since.
You broke Purvis's heart that night, don't you?
Didn't bother me a bit.